Isang masayang pagbati na may ngiti sa aking mga labi. Naghahanap ba kayo ng makakatuwang sa pagre-review ng inyong anak? Meron yan sa DepEd. Ang ETUlay online tutorial ay libre at handog ng ating kagawaran sa pangunguna ng OUA ICTS EdTech. Ito ay isang proyektong makatutulong sa mga mag-aaral, katuwang ang mga magulang o kasama sa kani-kanilang tahanan para masagutan at maunawaan ang mga modules. Hangad din ng programang ETUlay ang matulungan ang ating mga guro sa kanilang mga blended learning classes. Ang ating ETUlay ay mula kinder hanggang senior high school. Bukod sa academics, meron din tayong mga special programs gaya ng All is Wellness, Reading and Math Remediation, Storytelling, Mommy Tech Talks, Classes sa Gramatika, Speech Class, Financial Literacy, at marami pang iba. Pinalawig din ng ETUlay ang ating Alive program para sa mga mag-aaral mula grade 1 hanggang grade 3. Gayun din ay mayroon tayong ALS program at SPED tutorials na makasisigurong makakamit ng lahat ang inclusive education. May SPED hotline na rin para sa inyong mga katanungan patungkol sa special education. Kaya, subaybayan mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes, mula 9:00 ng umaga hanggang 7:00 ng gabi ang ating ETUlay. Sa ating pagtutulungan, maiaangat natin ang bawat isa. Ating itutulay ang pagkatuto upang di mapigil ang pag-aaral ng kabataang Pilipino. Itulay natin ito, sulong edukalidad.
Mabuhay! Good day to all! I am your tutor Madge. Welcome to ETUlay, a free online tutorial, an initiative of the Department of Education, Information and Communications Technology Service, Educational Technology Unit, ICTS EdTech. This program is aimed at helping and assisting learners from kindergarten, senior high school, ALS, Alive, and SPED learners. Aside from answering the modules, the ETUlay is offering programs which you will surely look forward to. Together with our parents and teachers, the ETUlay will bridge the gaps where difficulty and ease meet in learning new knowledge and skills. So, let us prepare our modules, pen and paper. Ready your mind to see and hear worthwhile and interesting lessons. Let us now study and learn, together with our volunteer online tutors. Tara na!
Hello there, what's up everyone? Welcome back to brand new year, another new year for us, and it's our very first session for this year 2022. Welcome back to Rodman.
Yeah, so how's your Christmas and New Year?
It's been fun, and we had done a lot of activities in my family, and I think you as well, to the Rodman, you enjoyed the Christmas break that we had.
Yeah. Of course, also in our activities, of course, right? They enjoy their Christmas and New Year.
Welcome back, Enrico, Dalupan, Leife, Ecarter, and Yadis Kazi Roy. They're watching on YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yeah.
I'm Churot C from SDO Cavite Province.
And I am Chilo Rodman from SDO Bataan.
And this is Contact Center Services for grade 10 students. But if you're not grade 10 students, you're still welcome to join our session, especially if you're interested in learning about English communication skills, learning about career skills. This is the show for you. And we are present, or we are live every Friday from 1:40 until 2:20 in the afternoon.
Yes, and you can watch our session, on Facebook, DepEd Educational Unit, DepEd Tayo, and of course, in our YouTube channels, we have DepEd Philippines, DepEd EdTech, and DepEd TV.
Mhm. Okay, so good afternoon. Good day po, tutor from John Ray Rigoda Raimundo. How are you, John Ray? I hope you
Hello.
had a wonderful Christmas break as well.
And today's session, of course, we are now in quarter two, week 6.
Mm-hmm.
Communicate effectively in English. And I know this will be our last topic on grammar, right? So
Mm-hmm.
from
We're
teaching
done
it.
with the grammar portions, with the
Yeah.
grammar parts of our contact center services. So in the coming
Mhm.
weeks, we're gonna deal with the actual call center scenario that we need to be ready for if you are really aiming to be
Yeah.
part of the contact center industry in the future.
And
Okay.
it will be more interesting.
Mm-hmm. And so our topic for today is going to be about conditionals.
Yeah. And our objective, use the English language, deploying oral, written, listening, and grammar skills.
Mm-hmm. And Tudor Rodman, he always says this, that being fluent in the English language takes time and effort, right?
Yeah, that's correct. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
And of
He
course, no,
also
a lot
said,
of opportunities once you are really good or you
mm-hmm,
are fluent in English.
exactly. So that's the reason why we encourage you to join more of our session.
Yeah. So last meeting we talk about modifier, right? Yeah.
This was last year, right?
I love your time. It's been a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Last year. Okay, so when we say modifier, it is a word, phrase, or clause that provides a description or describes another part of a sentence. So we discuss the meaning of modifier, and we talk about also the definition of phrase, the clause, and word. And so these are the things to remember about modifiers. So do not forget this. Number one, always place modifiers as close. So that is the cue. Close as possible to the word or words they modify. Yeah, so we have samples in here. Neil Armstrong made history as the first man who stepped on the moon in 1969. Okay, so what do you think? Is there something wrong in this sentence? Sabi, Neil Armstrong made history as the first man who stepped on the moon in 1969.
Mm-hmm. Since Tudor Rodman, you're the one who discussed this last week. Let me just guess. There's something wrong with this statement, but at first glance, I don't see any mistake with this statement.
Mhm. Meron ba? Yes, of course meron, right? Merong mali dyan. Okay?
So how can
Yeah.
we correct this? If there's something wrong with this statement, how can we correct this? So our 2Ds, could you comment how can we correct this statement? If you catch up, oh, right there. If you catch up with the discussion of Tudor Rodman
Yeah.
about
So this one,
modifiers last session, and that was last year.
last year.
It's been a while, no? So I don't
Mhm.
know if they could still remember about this discussion, but I hope so.
I guess so. And I hope so. So that one is the correct one, right? So that example is what we call misplaced modifier.
Mm-hmm.
Example of misplaced modifier. So it means that in letter A, so Neil Armstrong, sinasabi dyan na same year daw in 1969, parang isa lang siya sa mga nakarating sa buwan. Aside from Neil Armstrong, meron pang dumating. No?
Mm-hmm.
But actually, in reality, it's hard to go there, di ba? Sa buwan. Kaya pinaplano yan ng maraming taon.
Mm-hmm.
And the correct one is, of course, letter B, in 1969. Right? So in 1969, Neil Armstrong made history as the first man who stepped on the moon. Yan. Siya
Mm-hmm.
lang yan. No? Isa lang siya na nakarating sa buwan noong 1969. O mas maliwanag, right? So we
Yeah,
avoid confusion.
And so when you place modifiers too far away from the words that they
Yeah.
modify, you change the meaning of the sentence, right?
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
creating what is called, or you
Yeah.
change the meaning, and it's called misplaced modifier error,
Yeah.
right?
Kaya ito mas malinaw na, right, Actually,
Mm.
in 1969, the soda is our modifier. Ang minomodify niya, of course, si Neil Armstrong. So, mas malapit na.
Good day po from Mary Joy Ugota. Hi Mary Joy, good day to you as well.
Yeah, good day, Mary Joy Rodriguez. And another thing to remember, yeah, in our lesson about modifier, a modifier at the beginning of the sentence must modify the subject of the sentence.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, ano kayang tama dyan sa dalawa, A or B?
Let me read that. Speaking too fast, the caller was confused by Joseph. Or
Mm-hmm.
B,
Speaking too
speaking too
fast.
fast, Joseph confused the caller.
Yeah.
Um,
Sino kaya yung nagsasalita ng mabilis? Yung bang
uh-huh.
caller or si Joseph?
I feel like speaking too fast, or the statement number, or statement B is the
Yeah.
correct one, right? Speaking
Yeah,
too
correct.
fast, Joseph
Mm.
confused the caller.
Yeah. So that is our job, right? As call center
Mhm.
agent.
I
Speaking
think
too
it's the
fast.
correct one, Tudor Rodman, because the subject here is Joseph. Joseph is the
Yeah.
one that's speaking too fast, and that's why the
Mm-hmm.
caller was confused. So
Correct.
if you are going to use the statement A, uh, it is as though the one who's speaking too fast was the caller, and
Mm-hmm.
therefore
Correct.
Joseph should be the one who is confused. But according to statement A, it doesn't make sense if the caller was the one confused, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If the caller is the one who's speaking too fast. So for me, letter B is the correct answer, or the
Mm.
correct statement here.
How about our Chudis kaya? Our Chudis.
Hmm.
No, kaya ang tamang dyan.
Do you agree
Letter A
with
or
tutor
letter
C?
B?
I bet you would agree with me because I'm a tutor.
Yeah. That's great. That's right. And that is correct, no? Letter B. Yeah, one more thing, no? Number three. So things to remember. So your modifier must modify a word or phrase that is included in your sentence. Yeah. So we have letter A. While teaching about modifiers, comments were read from the comment box. And letter
Hmm.
B. While teaching about modifiers, Teacher Rodman reads comments from the comment box.
Ayan. So let's wait for tuties, no? Let's try them out if they will be able to provide us the correct answer for this one. So according
Mhm.
to number three, things to remember is your modifier must modify a word or phrase that is included in your sentence. Okay, let's see what they got. If they would go for letter B, or they would go for statement letter A.
Letter A. Or maybe letter C. No, I'm just joking.
Letter C. Which one is letter C? Where is it?
No, letter C though is maybe.
Ayan. So comment. You guys comment on the comment box. We would
Mhm.
read if you guys know which one should be the, or which one is the correct statement, A or B.
Yeah.
Okay. While waiting, Tutor Rodman will sing us a song.
Mhm. Yeah. Because Christmas is coming, so I will sing a Christmas song. Yeah.
Christmas is over.
So ay sumapit. I'm just joking.
Hmm.
Okay, so number three, modifier daw must modify a word or phrase daw that is
Hmm.
included in your sentence.
Wala pa rin
Okay.
comment. So let's just
Yeah.
reveal them the correct answer. Maybe they aren't confident with the answer that they have in mind. So
Yeah.
let's give them the correct answer. Which one should be the correct answer here?
Yeah, of course, the correct answer is letter B. So while teaching about modifiers, so we have the subject na teacher Rodman reads comments from the comment box. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So as we can see here in statement A, there's no like while teaching about modifiers, comments cannot teach about modifiers, so we must include the subject right there. So you can see here in statement letter B, we have teacher Rodman as the one reading the comments, and therefore tutor Rodman or yourself is the subject right there. And you're the one teaching about modifiers. So this is the correct one.
And yeah, so this one, no, that's why it is very important to master, to learn, to
Mm-hmm.
study these modifiers. Kasi most of the college entrance, no, examinations, meron dito, ano, itong misplaced modifiers and also the dangling modifiers. Kaya nga
Mm-hmm.
inaaral natin to. So, misplaced modifiers when a modifier is ambiguously or illogically modifying a word. So we consider it a misplaced modifier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have two examples in here. So letter A, the chess player called his coach crying loudly. Diba? So in here, sabi nga, misplaced modifier, ibig sabihin, merong nalipat ng pwesto, ng lugar. Right? So we have to remove that phrase or that word para makorek yung ating sentence. So in letter A, sabi the chess player the called is coach crying loudly. Sino ba yung umiiyak? Yung coach ba or yung chess player? Right? Yeah, so there's a confusion. Hindi siya
and
malinaw.
and for me, it doesn't make sense if the coach is the one crying. But with the statement A, you really couldn't tell who's the one crying. It could be the
Yeah.
coach, could be the chess player. So depending on the meaning that you want it to convey, you gotta make sure that you place the subject that you're talking about closer to
Mhm.
the modifier that you're using.
Yeah.
And in this case, the modifier is crying loudly, and therefore we use it. We put the chess player closer in statement letter B to the
Mhm.
modifier crying loudly, and therefore we can understand that the chess player is the one crying loudly, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Letter B is the correct answer, no? Crying loudly, the chess player called his coach. Maybe
Mhm.
nanalo siya or natalo siya. That's why, no, the
Oh.
chess player was crying.
Or maybe it's possible as well if the coach the one crying loudly,
Ah,
maybe
yeah.
because the
Maybe.
chess player won, and
Yeah.
the coach is really proud of
Mhm.
the chess player winning the game, right?
Mhm.
But that's also possible. So it really depends upon what is happening at the particular moment. If the coach was the one crying loudly, therefore the
Mhm.
statement should be the coach, or crying loudly, the coach called the chess player, right?
Yeah. And last one we have the dangling modifiers. No, the dangle. So
Hmm.
when a modifier is not modifying a specific word, yan, we call it a dangling modifier. So we have A and B. Ano kaya tamang sagot dito? Archeries. What do you think? Is it
Letter
A
A,
or B?
hungry. After the ETUlay session, heavy lunch was quickly
Mhm.
devoured.
Yeah.
Letter
You
B is
pronounce it
hungry.
well. Yeah,
After the
yeah,
ETUlay session, I quickly devoured a heavy lunch.
yeah, that's great. You pronounce it well. Devoured.
So,
Yeah.
Tudor Rodman, which one is the correct one?
Letter B. Right? So letter B. So
Hmm.
actually, kasi di ba we started 12, right? 12 in our session. So we do practice before our session, right? Kaya nga, minsan hindi na tayo nakakakain. Kaya
Hmm.
after our session, talagang gutom na gutom tayo, right?
After
Yeah.
ETUlay session, no? So,
Yeah.
Tudor Rodman surely
Yeah.
uh,
That's
will
why the correct
devour
answer is letter B.
his
Hungry
heavy
after the
lunch after
utilization.
ETUlay
I
session.
referring to myself.
Okay? So yeah,
Mhm.
so you gotta remember that the modifier should modify a specific word or specific subject in the
Yeah.
sentence. So in statement letter A, hungry after ETUlay session, there's no subject
Mhm.
right there. heavy lunch was quickly devoured. So we
Mhm.
just gotta be careful with using modifier or and if we are going to think of it, modifier is important when we're working in a call center or in even in any type of communications that we are engaged or conversation that we are engaged, because we gotta describe things when we tell story, when we give information, we describe um, in most cases, right? And
Yeah.
therefore we use modifier sa ating conversation. So dapat alam natin paano gamitin to correctly. And sometimes we have this squinting modifiers as well. So we might include that as well, 'di ba? Yung squinting modifier, that means you the modifier, you really could not determine which subject the modifier is being the modifier modifies, right? So may mga situation na ganun, no? So ang technique talaga diyan, laging ilalapit mo closer dun sa subject mo yung modifier mo para safe ka mai-communicate mo yung meaning correctly, because it's going to be a source of fun, and people will laugh at you, especially when you're working in a
Mhm.
call center environment. Everybody speaks English in call
Yeah.
center. You talk with foreign or native speakers, and if they hear you misplace or use dangling modifiers,
Mhm.
they would laugh at you. Okay, it's
Yeah.
gonna be funny for them, and the good thing about it is you are able to make them smile.
Uh-huh.
You make them
Actually,
happy.
correct. Mm. Sabi nga na, ano, yung ano lang, Malaysian. Yung half
Mm,
Asian and half European. Sabi
mm,
ko, sabi nung kung sa call center agent. Actually, I have, tinanong ko sa siya, what is your, ano ba yung lahi mo? Sabi niya. Sabi, half Malaysian and half Asian. No, joke lang yun. Naging aso.
uh, okay. Actually, to the Rodman, I couldn't hear you that well. I don't know if our tudis could hear you well. I don't know if it's my headset or if it's your microphone. I don't know. Maybe you should check that. You should check up your microphone, the setting in your StreamYard.
Okay.
I think we have the same issue as before. That the microphone that's picking up your voice is the one from your webcam.
It's okay naman.
Hmm. Okay, so maybe our tutor should comment down below if you could hear Tutor Rodman really well. But if you could not hear him really well,
Yeah, do you
let
hear me
us
guys?
know.
Do you hear me, Artemis? Nadidinig niyo ba ako?
Oo, paalam nyo naman kasi ako hindi, baka yung headset ko yung may diferensya.
Ayan
Okay?
sir, nadidinig mo na ako? Do you hear
Narinig naman kita pero it's not that clear, and you are
ah,
not at the center of
ano kaya
your
ang
webcam.
nangyayari?
Yeah, right there. Yan. Sige. So let's check these. There are four statements here, and I want you guys to observe what similarities do you see in these statements,
Yeah.
and at the same
Allow me
time,
to, sige, allow me
how
to
do
speak.
they differ from each other?
Yeah, allow me to read Tutor T.
Hmm?
Allow me to read the sentences for them to realize and to analyze.
Okay.
Sige. If learners don't study, they fail the exam. I will be sleepy if I eat too much. If I were you, I would be happy. She would have bought a laptop if she had more money. Do you hear me?
Okay. What similarities do you see in these statements? Ayan. So
Yeah.
medyo tahimik ang ating mga viewers.
Kaya nga, kailangan yata nating magingay na magingay. Oh, guys, our Judy, ano yung sagot natin dyan? Ano yung sagot sa tinatanong natin? Tutor 3. What are the similarities daw in our sentences? So we have four, right? We have four sentences.
Mhm.
Ano yung pagkakatulad nila?
Mhm.
So nadinig nyo yung aking pagkakabasa, okay? The way I read those sentences, please answer our question.
Ayan.
Ano daw? Ano daw sagot?
Sige. So we don't have much time
Mhm.
to actually wait. So we want you to be as responsive as possible. You respond to us as fast as possible. Okay.
Mhm.
So sometimes there is a delay in with their comments coming in sa StreamYard, but usually um, minimal lang naman yung delay, no? So mababasa pa rin natin
Yeah,
yung comments nila. But if you
correct.
guys don't have any answer about this, so let us tell you what are the similarities with these
Yeah.
statements. Okay, Churu
Yung
Rodman.
observe ko lang, sir, yeah. Yung, based on my observation, no, with this four sentences, so they all have if, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
correct.
if, if learners, if I, right?
Hmm.
If she had,
Yeah.
and
And other similarity that I see here is that it's like a cause and effect situation, right?
that's
So there
great.
is an event that's going to happen, or
Mm-hmm.
an action that's going to
Yeah.
happen, or action that is happening, or
Mm-hmm.
action that happens,
Mm-hmm.
diba? And then there is a result,
Yeah.
okay? Result of that action or event or happening, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And these statements are what we call conditional,
Conditionals.
right?
Yeah, yeah, meron siya, no? Meron siyang, what you call this one, meron siyang phrase, and meron siyang, yeah, clause, right?
Mhm.
Clause and the main
Oh,
phrase.
it's an if clause, right? If clause.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see, there is a change on verb tenses here. So from present simple, then present simple. So
Yeah,
learners don't, they fail. Okay. And the second one, future tense, I will be,
yeah, I will be.
will plus infinitive. And
Mm-hmm.
the if clause is in present tense or present simple tense.
Correct.
Number three is if I were you. So as you can see in this statement, the statement is in past simple, I were,
Mm-hmm.
and this one is a would plus infinitive, I would be happy, right?
Yeah,
And the fourth one is
would
the if
have.
clause is in past um, past perfect, right? And then the the phrase is in has the would plus present participle have and a participle, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay,
let's
so
try
let's
this.
try this. Maybe this time, no, they will answer, no, our question. So they will use the comment box. Let's try this, guys. Our cuties, I know you are listening with us, right? There you go. Yeah, let's try this. What you're going to do is just complete, no, these sentences, right? So if it doesn't rain for a long time, so please complete, no, the
What will
sentence.
happen if it doesn't rain for a long time? What's gonna happen?
Mm-hmm. What will
Maybe
be the what will
we
be
will
the
run out
result?
of water.
Correct.
If it doesn't rain for a long time, we will run out of water. Okay.
Yeah, or maybe the
If it
soil.
doesn't rain for a long
Yeah.
time,
Mm-hmm. Ano nangyari, sir?
the soil dries.
Yeah, that's right.
What happened to you, Churu Rodman, when you're tired? If you're
When I'm
tired,
tired, if I'm tired, I guess I go to sleep.
you just go to sleep.
Yeah, I go to sleep.
If I'm tired, I go to sleep. Okay, that's a good.
As easy as that.
Uh huh.
Diba?
How about the third one? If he
He
studies
studies
hard,
hard.
if
Yeah.
our learners study hard, what's gonna
Mhm.
happen to you guys?
They will what? They will or he will get a high grade, something like
Okay,
that.
you'll get high
Mm,
grades, right?
yeah.
Okay, in the next one, he'll
He'll call
call.
if, yeah. He'll call if,
He call. He will call if he has your number.
yeah.
Oh,
It's hard to call, no?
nobody could call you if you don't give them your number.
Yeah.
He'll call if you
Practically
give
impossible.
him your number. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If I were rich, Judo Rodman, if you were rich, what are
Mm-hmm.
you
I
gonna
hope
do?
so. I dream, I wish, if I were rich.
If
I
I were
guess,
rich, Judo Rodman, I would buy you a car if you want.
I would give you million, 1 million. Yeah.
Okay, you would
I
give me a
will.
million peso if you were rich. However,
Yeah.
you aren't rich, so you will not gonna be able to you'll not be able to give me money.
Correct, correct, correct.
Okay, next one. If she saw a
Yeah.
snake,
Mm-hmm. Siyempre,
if you
no?
guys saw a snake, what are you gonna do?
Ano, I would run.
Party na.
Siyempre, no?
Judo Rodman, if you saw a snake, what are you gonna
Mm-hmm.
do?
I will report it to the DNR. Then, of course, I would run. Right? Tatakbo
You
ako.
would run like crazy.
Not really. Yeah, how about our choices kaya? No?
Okay, some of our Judis would say that they would faint if they
Oo.
saw a snake. They
Mamumutla,
would
no?
faint, or they would shout.
Mhm. Yung iba
Okay,
naman, mag-stay na lang doon. No? Because of...
and so if we had left earlier,
Ano daw mangyayari? Kung alis daw tayo ng mas maaga, no? If we had left earlier.
mhm, if we had left earlier,
Yeah.
we wouldn't
So,
have been late.
yes, yes. We would have been on time for our session.
Exactly. But anyway,
Mhm.
that's just a hypothetical. We are on time on our session.
Yes, of course. Advance, no?
Okay.
Actually, nung ginawa ko kanina from school, yeah, nagmadali ako umuwi.
Okay. So what is a conditional sentence? So those sentences that we just create, okay, out of those phrases are conditional sentences. So a conditional
Mhm.
sentence tells the condition in which something happens. All
Yeah.
right. So it shows a
Mhm.
possible cause and effect situation in the form of an if and then
Correct.
statement. In
Then,
fact,
statement.
every conditional sentence has a clause beginning with if.
If. Yes, yes. And conditional sentences let us express things that might or could have happened. Could it
Mm.
still happen? Or wish could happen? Or always happen in a specific circumstances?
Okay. And we have four types of conditionals, right?
Yeah.
The zero
Mm.
conditionals, the first conditional, second
Second,
conditional, and the
and the
third
third.
conditional. So, what are the differences among those conditionals? And at the same time, when do we use them and why we use
Mhm.
particular conditional at a particular situation, right?
Yeah. The first one is the zero conditional. Ano bang ibig sabihin niya, no? We can make a zero conditional sentence with two present simple
Ang mouse na
verbs.
to.
Yeah, one in the if clause and one in the main clause. So meron siyang dalawang bahagi, no? It has two parts, right? It has two parts, the the if clause and the main clause.
Yeah.
Yan, ito yung ating ano, no? Yung pattern natin.
Mhm.
If plus present simple plus present simple.
Yeah, and we use this kind of conditional when we talk about fact or habitual action or true to everybody or
Mhm.
general truths, right?
Correct. Sabi, something always true. Parang zero doubt. Walang duda.
Hold on. Hold on, Tutor Rodman. Could you carry on? I just have to assist Tutor Teresa because they're
Sige
going
po.
to have
Okay.
their session. Okay.
Okay na.
Okay, ano yan? Ayan, pakiclick. So, here are some more examples, no? So, ang example natin dito sa zero conditional. So, if really speaks too much, he gets a sore throat, right? If Billy Dow speaks too much. And of course, it is true, right? It is something always true. So when you are keeping on speaking, lalo na when you are shouting, sigaw ka ng sigaw, so the tendency, of course, magkakaroon ka ng sore throat. And that is what we call zero. Zero conditional. So walang doubt dyan. Zero doubt. Okay? And another example, if you touch a fire, you get burned, right? So if you touch a fire, you get burned. And that is always true. Sino ba yung mawak dito ng ng apoy na hindi naman talaga na pasok, right?
Yeah.
Mhm. And another example in our zero conditionals, if babies are hungry, of course, they cry.
Yeah.
Diba? Iiyak talaga sila.
Yeah. Majority of the time they cry, and we forgot to put a period
Yeah,
in
sorry.
the third statement. Okay.
Mhm.
We gotta put period there. Okay. Next, the first conditional has the present simple after if, then the future simple in the other clause. So if plus present simple and then will plus infinitive. Okay.
Yeah.
So statements, we use first conditional when we talk about um, fact, but
Yeah.
the event that's going to happen isn't always the same. Okay,
Mhm.
so unlike with general truths where the effect is always the same or generally the same, this one is specific only for this particular situation. So we use the future tense
Yeah.
in the following phrase. So after the if clause, we use the future tense in the
Mhm.
next phrase or in the then phrase. So I our examples right here is if it rains, I won't go to the party. Okay.
Yeah. There's a
However,
possibility.
if you, if you're going to change this statement, if it rains, um, let's say the the there is a particular river that gets flooded when it rains. So the statement will always be if it rains, that river floods, right? Because it's a general truth. But however, in
Yeah.
this situation, this statement, there is a possibility that other people would go to the party. So therefore, the statement should be in this future tense. I
Yeah.
won't go to the party. If it rains, I
Mhm.
won't go to the party.
Yeah.
But there's a tendency
If
as well
not, yeah.
that we might go to the party
Yes.
even if it rains.
Yeah. Mhm. O siya, meron siyang condition, right?
Mhm,
May condition siya. Kung di uulan, pupunta siya.
mhm. Then
Yeah,
if
there
I
is
have enough money,
there's a possibility.
I'll donate to the victims of typhoon.
Sana,
Okay.
no, if I have enough money.
Hmm.
But actually, no, in reality, even if you don't have enough money, basta't meron ka ng kaunti, no, it's better to share your blessings. It's better to
Okay.
donate.
Hmm. And then if the bus is delayed, she'll be late.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a possibility. Pero siguro hindi naman yung nadidelay talaga yung bus. May
Mm.
oras talaga siya. And if
And
she doesn't come, she will miss the event. Totoo naman yun. Kaya huwag siyang maano, no? Dapat dumating siya. Yeah, so Matthew Estember, good afternoon, watching from Nemazio 1, Yabut Elementary School, Leslie Makarizu.
Good
From
afternoon.
Makarizu, hello, good afternoon, Matthew.
Okay, last
And
one. If I
if,
study today, I'll go to bed early. So there should be
yeah,
the bed. If I study today, I'll go to bed early. So that means you do not procrastinate your study, and therefore you could sleep early. Okay.
mhm. And the second conditional, yeah, the second conditionals uses the past simple, yeah, past simple after if, then would, and the infinitive. So if plus past simple, then would plus infinitive.
Okay. So let's see this in a sentence.
Yeah. If I got promoted, yeah, past simple got. I would buy a big house. So I probably won't get promoted.
Okay.
Yeah.
We actually use second conditional when we state a situation, or let's say an event, an if clause that's actually an imaginary or unlikely to happen. Okay,
Yeah.
it might
Parang
happen, but the
maybe konti.
possibility of it happening is very thin.
Yeah,
So,
konting-konti
like for
lang.
example, if I got promoted in our first example, right? If I got
Mhm.
promoted, that means that the possibility of me getting promoted is quite thin.
Ayan,
But
wala
if
na.
that happens, I would buy a big house.
Yeah,
Okay.
parang ano na siya, impossible now, no?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay. So I probably won't get promoted. Okay. Next, if I met tutor T, I would say congratulations. Well, by the way,
Congratulations,
you meet me
Tutor
right
T.
now.
Yeah, congratulations. Ah,
Okay, so there's still a possibility of that happening, diba?
mhm.
So
Oh,
next one, I would travel all over the world with my family if I won the lottery. The problem is you're not betting on lottery,
correct.
so that means that's impossible to happen. Okay,
Yeah, that's impossible.
ayan. So we should be able to differentiate the difference between first and second conditional, because that's gonna be confusing. Because
Mhm.
in first conditional, we talk about things that is more likely to happen. Okay,
Yeah,
right? So in our example, for example,
possibility.
if it rains, I won't go to the party.
Mhm.
So there's a possibility of raining, and when it rains, the possibility of you going to the party is really thin. Okay? So
Yeah,
kabaligtaran naman ito. Ito naman is mas improbable or mas imposible itong second
correct.
conditional
Happy
statement.
New Year, Tutor Grace, and to all our online viewers this afternoon.
Ayan,
Big hi
narinig niyo
and
na sila
Happy
tutor.
New
powerful
Year.
everyone. Welcome
Carry on, tutor
again to
Rodman.
another
Carry
Yeah,
on.
episode.
yeah, another example, if I had his number,
I am Tutor
I would
Teresa.
call him. The problem is I don't have his number now, so it's impossible for me to call him. And if I were you, I would go out with that man. Babala, no? And last, the third conditional. So we make the third conditional by using the past perfect after if and then would have. Do not forget after if and then would have. And the past participle in the second part of the sentence. Ito yung ating pattern. So we have yung pattern natin sa pakailan. Yan. If plus past perfect, would plus have plus past participle. Sige, sige. And here are some examples. If I had studied, yeah, sorry. If he had studied, he would have passed the exam. Siyempre, no? Yeah, something that didn't happen.
Carry on, tutor Rodman, because Churo Teresa is
Yeah.
already
So
doing the
ibig sabihin,
tutorial,
sige,
so
sige.
it would be confusing to our learners if they hear
Sige po.
the voice of Tutor Teresa out there.
Share niyo po ito
Sige
natin.
po. So in here, no, in our third conditionals, parang sinasabi natin, sana, sana, sana. Diba? So we are hoping. Sana parang nangihinayang ka because it's done, it's over. Parang wala nang pag-asa, right? Yan. So if he had studied, he would have passed the exam. Actually, siguro bumagsak na siya, no? Hindi siya pumasa sa examination. Kasi nga, hindi siya nag-aaral. Pero sabi niya, kung sana nag-aral ako, nakapasa ako. Something like that. And if I hadn't eaten so much, I wouldn't have felt sick. Ganun din yun. Ganun din siya, no? But do not forget yung ating pattern no kanina. Yung pattern natin. Now, and another example, they wouldn't have been tired if they had gone to bed earlier.
Mm-hmm. And next, if we had a taxi, we wouldn't have missed the service bus.
Yeah.
So meaning they don't have taxi. Okay.
Yeah.
So it
Something
talks
that
about the
did not
past. Okay?
happen.
It talks
Or
about the
didn't
past
happen.
event. Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. Talagang hindi nangyari. It didn't happen and could have happened. Kaya nga ang iniiwan niya lang, sana, right?
Okay. All right. So for our assignment, so sum up, this was part of our first few slides. So for our tutories, all you guys have to do is to screenshot this one, and we would like you to submit to us or submit to your subject teacher. But if you want to be part or you wanted to be mentioned in our ETUlay tutorial, you can submit your complete statement out of these phrases, out of these clauses, and we'll see if you will get the correct answer. If you'll know the correct conditional to use in these phrases. All right. So you can submit that up in either Tutor Rodman and Tutor T's Facebook page. Okay. So makikita nyo lang ako, RJ Telia, no? RJ D Telia.
Buo, Rodrigo Gatbunton Manuel. Diba? Bagong pangalan. Okay, so time check, it's 2:23, sir. Yeah, so that's all for today, sir. Nice.
Yeah, that's all. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in with us, and I hope you guys learned something new. And I know the background voice is kind of distracting. I'm distracted actually right now. So that's gonna be it for today. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in, and see you guys in our next session.
Yeah, do not forget your assignment. Thank you, and God bless us all. Bye-bye.
Ang husay naman! Natapos mo ang iyong tutorial session kasama ang iyong mahusay na ETUlay tutor. May bago ka bang natutuhan? I-share na yan gamit ang hashtag ETUlayLevelUp. Huwag aalis ha, dahil may susunod pang programa na pwede mo ring panoorin at salihan. Dahil naghihintay na ang iyong mga tutors. Happy learning dito sa ETUlay!